joining us now to talk about our foreign policy, our national security, and lessons learned or perhaps lessons unheeded in the recent past. Retired Army Lieutenant General Daniel Bolger is the author of the new book, Why We Lost, a general's inside account of the Iraq-Afghan wars. General Bolger, thanks for Skyping in this morning from the city where I attended school, Raleigh, North Carolina, proud home of NC State. General, let's talk about what John McCain had to say. Are you concerned that our continued involvement in the Mideast and in Iraq in particular is starting to mirror Vietnam?
Well, JD, thanks for talking with me today. And yes, I am quite concerned. I think we've already tried it in Iraq from 2003 to 2011, sending in a bunch of American troops, trying to go house to house in these villages and towns, sort out which guy's a farmer, which guy's an insurgent. I mean, as Senator McCain well knows from his own combat experience in Vietnam, to include honorable service as a prisoner of war, that's a losing recipe. We've tried it in Iraq. We've tried it in Afghanistan. The right way to use U.S. military force is to go in an overwhelming manner and do a rapid, decisive operation. That is what our military is designed to do. We did that in both Afghanistan and Iraq, Afghanistan in 01, Iraq in 03, and then we stayed around instead of just turning it over to the locals and letting them sort their business out.
So the notion is, when you look back at Afghanistan and Iraq, the notion is go in, get the job done, and then the exit strategy should be to exit forthwith. No nation building. What about any continued presence of U.S. troops on the ground?
I think a continued presence makes some sense, but trying to dictate how their government is formed or what they do does not work. And we saw that in Vietnam, we saw it in Iraq, we saw it in Afghanistan. These countries don't understand Democratic Republic, not because they're evil people. The average person in those countries is just trying to raise their family and do their work at their farm or in their shop. But it's very, very difficult to expect these people to suddenly make a jump from a very authoritarian structure. In many cases, not a lot of education. Heck, the illiteracy rate in Afghanistan among adults is 85% cannot read and write. It's asking a lot of those folks to suddenly make the jump to Jeffersonian democracy. So we're going to have to pick something that works for them, and it may not be something that we like, but then maybe leave a small presence of advisors and assisters with enough security to keep ourselves safe, and do what we can to help them. And that is a winning formula. That is what we did in the Korean War. We didn't dictate the government of South Korea, but we did provide them guaranteed support over the years, and I think they've done pretty well with it.
And General, a minute remains in this segment, though I think we'll be continuing after the break. Let me just ask you, are you concerned with the president sending advisors or a small presence of 1,000 to 3,500 troops in Iraq that we're about to repeat some mistakes? 30 seconds to answer.
No, I don't think we're repeating the mistakes, as long as he keeps it limited to an advise and assist role with some air power.
Fair enough. General Daniel Bolger, we want to talk with you more about what should be done with our military based on your personal experience. When we come back, we'll talk more about the lessons you learned firsthand in both Iraq and Afghanistan. General Daniel Bolger, our guest, the author of the new book, Why We Lost, a general's inside account of the Iraq-Afghan wars. Interested in your take on this, too. You heard what the general had to say. What do you think of it? Why don't you tweet me at NewsmaxTV, hashtag America's Forum, and we'll continue the conversation with retired Army Lieutenant General Daniel Bolger after this.